Howdy, folks. Welcome to Phil's show. I'm Phil. It's my show. Tonight, we have a couple of awesome guests for you from my travels around the world, mostly North America. The first of which is David Demchuk, Canadian Spooky Pants author. After David, we will have Kwabena Agymen, the CEO of OpenMV, who recently won the Judge's Choice Award at the Embedded Vision Summit here in Santa Clara, California. Before we get started with the guests, though, just like to remind you, you can support me and this show by going to patreon.com/Phil Nelson. You can also help me to remember to hit the record button. We're streaming, so we're safe, but I forgot to hit record. People are going to miss that awesome part of the show. Nobody cares. Professional moments like that and more can be yours on patreon.com/Phil Nelson. I will now be posting unedited, full-length, high-def versions of this very show, DRM-free, etc., for your download and viewing pleasure or displeasure, as the case may be, in addition to being able to find the show on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and Facebook, and I think we're on LinkedIn as well. I have no idea if people are watching on those channels, but it'll be fun to find out. And among other fun things we will be doing this evening. Speaking of fun, with me I've got just a barrel of fun in the shape of a person, and that person is David Demchuk. David, please say hello to the people.
Hello to the people.
Yes,
Yes,
perfect.
I am.
You're
I
coming
am the
through
king
great.
of fun.
Yeah, I mean, you can just kind of tell. You look like a fun guy. David,
Thanks.
welcome. It's good to see you. It's been a while.
It's good to see you too. Although currently I'm not seeing you. I'm seeing a logo, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Here, I'll turn the video back on in the green room, so to speak. And that should fix
There
it. There you
you
go.
are.
Okay, that's a little bit better. You're welcome. David. So, yes, let's see. I mean, gosh, we've known each other for well over 10 years at this point. It has
Yes,
been quite some time. Somehow I keep aging and you stay the same age. How do you do that?
by starting at 60
Nailed it.
and just, the wrinkles just at a certain point, there's no room to add more. So, there you go.
It's the Harrison Ford effect. Is yeah, he just at a certain age, you're just
Exactly.
that age forever now. Yeah,
That's
that makes
correct.
sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I was I remember I think a few months ago I saw the little announcement about your upcoming new book. I mean, this will be what? This will be the three for
This
you
will be
now.
the third book, yes.
Gosh, gosh and
And
golly.
that's yeah, it's cool. This book is
This
a
is the
retelling.
butcher's daughter. Let me go ahead. I'll share my screen here in the
Okay,
chat, and you can
perfect.
hopefully can talk over it here. Let's see if it
I
actually works.
shall indeed.
Let's
I'm
see
an
if it actually
expert
works today.
talking over person.
Yeah, practice makes perfect, right? Okay, here we go. Yeah, there we go. And so I'm gonna go ahead and try that. Go ahead and say you should be able to talk now over the thingy.
That's fabulous. So yes, The Butcher's Daughter is a retelling of the Sweeney Todd story, but from the point of view of Mrs. Lovett, the pie baking helpmate. As you'll recall, Sweeney Todd started as a penny dreadful, really in the 1700s, and was a barber who was a psychopath and who was murdering people in his barber's chair. And she was downstairs in the pie shop, Mrs. Lovett, making pies that were filled with the remains of the victims, and she was selling them to people on the streets of London. And there's a lot of attention paid to him over the many versions, and there
And
have been
England
many
has not
versions.
had a decent meal since.
No, although, yeah, exactly. I mean, they went from that to eel, and then, now to where we're at, boiled dinners. So there'd always been a lot of attention on him. There'd been very little attention on her, and her story never really quite made sense. And so, shortly after Stephen Sondheim's death, he, of course, was responsible for a musical about Sweeney Todd. I contacted my agent and said, I would like to give this a try, but I'm going to need some help. And my agent actually had another writer on her roster, Corinne Lee Clark. And my agent brought the two of us together, and we worked together for about a year and a half on the book. And it's 100,000 words, Phil. It is a big fat book.
Hokey smokes Bullwinkle. That is
That is
so many
huge.
words.
It is so many words. It is so many pages.
Gosh and
There's so
golly.
much going on. There are so many twists and turns and shocks. It's delightful in a dark sort of way. And it comes out almost exactly a year from now. In fact, just under a year from now. Soho Press in the United States has launched a horror imprint called Hell's 100. It's going to be part of that imprint. And in the UK, the cover that you have there, it's going to come out from Titan Books. And so that's great. So we are just, I'm hoping, we're about to find out. Yeah, that's me. We're about to find out tomorrow if we're entering the copy editing stage. And if we are, then the bulk of the heavy lifting is essentially over.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, it will be awesome. And then we
Yeah.
can concentrate on other things that are
Mm.
part of the process. So it's great. We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, yes, exciting. What a project. What really, I mean, how do you even, why, David? Why?
Why, David? Why? Why, David? Why? Well, I mean, the first thing that happened was that when Stephen Sondheim died, it was the Washington Post who put out an obituary that clearly they'd had for a very long time, and and obviously have continually updated it. So there's no excuse. But they actually, in describing the Sweeney Todd musical, left out the Mrs. Lovett character entirely. And that actually was what prompted me to consider what her role in the story is and how it could be told.
Like
The reason why I couldn't
those
possibly,
bastards. I just imagine you like
exactly,
reading
it
this
was just,
obituary, like
and she was just
newspaper,
not there. She was
pipe,
just not
like pipe
there.
in your mouth, like it drops to the floor,
That's
crumpled
me.
newspaper. It's like throwing it on the ground. Those
Yeah,
bastards.
in outrage. But I realized I couldn't tell the story myself because it would take an enormous, and did take an enormous amount of research, because I wanted to set it in Victorian England, and I wanted it to span from when Queen Victoria first sat on the throne right through to her golden jubilee. So 50 years. And it's and a lot happens in that 50-year period, just in terms of industry and technology, and medicine and stuff like that. And that's where my agent Barbara suggested Corrine, because Corrine has a very strong background in all that stuff. And she also loves all things Gothic. And this was very much a Gothic horror thriller. And we had great fun working on it together. I mean, it was a ton of work, and we worked really fast, but I think it turned out really well.
Really excited. Yeah, looking forward to when that comes out. I will, of course, get the author's signed edition with complete with mysterious stains.
Yes,
As is,
absolutely.
as is.
I will ensure that I put some mysterious stains in there specifically for you.
Yes, I mean that's the real value, I feel. Yeah, I'm pulling up your so your kind of first. I guess would we call Red X your first like big boy novel?
Yeah, I mean,
Is
it
that
depends
fair?
on your point of view. The first book, which was The Bone Mother, was the
Mm-hmm.
one that got a lot of sort of award nominations and attention.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really learning how to write, a long piece, even though it consists of many tiny ones, trying to sustain a narrative in some way. And then when it came to Red X, that was really, you're right, it was very much a big step forward.
Mm.
Also, I mean, not that one should obsess over word counts, but The Bone Mother was
I was
50,000
gonna
words.
say it's like three times as long. Like
Yeah, honestly, and Red X is about 80,000 words,
yeah.
and yeah, so I never want to go, large coming from me to say this. I never want to deal with something this long. Again, I want to go back. I want to go back to the smaller sizes, the more
Uh,
comfortable fit.
and so then,
So
of course, the next project is even longer.
no, actually, the next project is a haunted house novel that I
Okay.
actually set aside in order to work on this one. And I am determined that this haunted house novel is only going to be about 60,000 words. We'll see. You never know. But that is fully my intention, is to go in quick, have the effect I want to have, and then back right out again.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's ideally, that's how you do it, and that's also your dating app profile, isn't it? It's,
Well, you know.
I
If
mean,
it's
yeah,
not done in 45 minutes, then something is wrong.
well, yeah, I mean, you're risking a friction burn at that point. I
Well,
think, yeah,
yes.
among
Well, at
other
this age,
things.
I'm risking more than a friction burn.
Ayo. Yeah. All
Exactly.
right. All right. So yeah, I'm looking at some more stuff here. I want to talk a little bit about yeah, I mean Red X. I feel
Mhm.
like I feel like everything I mean this is one of the things of yours Bone Mother I didn't see as much just in my regular day-to-day life. Like I see obviously you're a friend of mine. I see when you post about your book and stuff like that. But I feel like with Red X I was seeing like, oh shit, like that's David's book like on posters and like in stores and like that was pretty awesome to just randomly happen upon. Do you have any like when to you did were you like, oh shit, I'm an author now?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know that I've ever and may never have that feeling, but for Red X in particular, the New York public libraries chose it as one of their best books of 2020. No, 2021. And I thought to
Yeah.
myself, I didn't even know they were aware that I existed.
Right.
Like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
And so that was really
Damn.
cool.
That is extremely
And
cool.
Rakuten Kobo
Hmm.
chose it as one of the top 20 books
That,
overall from that year, which was really shocking to me. I
yeah, that's
mean,
one of the places I saw it because I have one of those my e-reader of choice is one of the Kobo models.
yep.
And I was on their store and I was like, oh shit, I know that guy.
Yeah,
So,
it was
yeah.
so that was sensational. I mean, I'm used to being sort of like, well regarded within the horror field or well regarded as a Canadian author. It was really strange to find myself being put into this like massive international category. And it kind of blew my mind. And then, of course, then you see how many books you've sold and then you come right back down. So
Back to earth.
back to earth, but it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
And really, the goal more than anything is to first of all enjoy myself and improve my craft and have fun, scaring people and challenging them with various things, but also just to reach as many people as I can in a variety of different ways, and to be kind of a good ambassador for queer horror, which for
Mm-hmm.
me is like an extremely important part of my life, my career, and my creative makeup. So
Well said. And or as the was the Globe and Mail a master of bowel loosening terror, I believe they
yeah,
called it.
that actually came from a play that I wrote many, many years ago,
That's pretty
and it
cool.
was meant to be a backhanded compliment by the theater reviewer. And I kept it in the back of my mind. And when I went through my career change and sort of left theater behind and moved into fiction,
Hmm.
I thought to myself, I could do something with that. I can do something with the master of bowel loosening terror. And then I realized the thing to do is to really lean into horror, which
Yeah.
I which I had really held back from when I was working in theater, because there isn't a huge market for horror in theater. There should be, but there isn't.
Mm.
And there certainly wasn't at the time that I was writing it. And so I just thought to myself, okay, I'm going to see what I can make of that, and I'm going to see if I can sort of live up to this, this this nasty thing that was tossed my way
Oh,
that I
oh, I'll
actually,
show you loose and bowels.
yeah, another thing that's a function of my age. So, it's,
Ew.
I'm right there with it. So,
Mm,
so yeah, I took it as a challenge, and and the first book, I actually, as I was writing the first book, I thought to myself, oh, it's too mild. I'm being too meek. I'm being too
this is
tender. And so I shoved some things in,
I love
and
that. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it sprang open. And Red X was,
Mm,
even more intense. And there are parts of The Butcher's Daughter, I mean, as if you couldn't tell from the title,
mhm.
that are absolutely sort of, gruesome and startling and exciting and
Mm,
violent. It'll be
yeah.
interesting seeing how people react to it.
Yeah, I mean that at the end of the day, that is sort of inevitably what happens next, right? Like
Yeah.
the in the wake of the creative act, it's like, well, now it is out there for people.
Yeah. Uh,
I hope that they at least buy it. I don't know, right?
I hope
You're
so
you're
too.
like, I don't even care if they like it at this point. That's like personally, that's kind of where I'm at. Like creatively, I'm like, I don't even care if people like it. I just care that they pay money for it.
Oh
Like,
yeah, if they pay money for it and hate it, it's still the same
like
money.
no, yeah,
I'm
thank you.
thrilled.
Yeah, those pizza rolls taste just the same, sir. Thank you so.
Exactly. And I mean, now is the most difficult, now to about 3 months after the book comes out is the most difficult time because it's just a lot of waiting. I've been through it with previous books, obviously. Corinne has never been through this at all. And so
Mm.
I've had to, both me and Barbara, we've had to sort of tell her, you're going to lose your mind and you can't.
Have
You're
you
going to be clawing at yourself and you can't. You just have to
have
wait.
you ever seen a happy author? No.
I maybe on the deathbed. I don't
Mm,
know. I
mm.
don't know. I mean, the world isn't really set up for happy authors. Even rich authors are not particularly
Right.
happy people.
Exactly. Yeah,
If you're going to continue to
look
be
at
driven.
Joanne.
Yeah, oh, let's not look at Joanne.
Gosh. Bleh.
Let's leave Joanne out of it. And
Oh,
this is,
yeah.
but it's the truth, right? Enya goes, sits in her castle, doesn't say boo to anyone. You never hear from her. You never see her. Joanne
And we're all
is
happier
like,
that way.
is it, Queen Grumpy Guts. We hear about her every 30 seconds.
Just
She's,
angrily tweeting from the toilet in her castle.
yeah, absolutely. It's like, are you insane? What? And of course the answer is yes.
Oh,
And she's kind of, but of
clearly.
course it's a different mode of communication, and you lead yourself to believe that what you're doing is incredibly important when in fact it's not, and that you're some sort of, leading voice when in fact you're not.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very frustrating. And I will say that I'm grateful that a lot of the success that I've had has come slowly and has
Mm,
come at times when I've been an adult and has come at times when I've been able to reflect and look back and figure out, how I got to where I am and what I'm all about. I of course would always love to have more money. I certainly don't want to have that much. And I don't want to have the brain damage that goes with it,
yeah,
apparently.
I don't think anybody should, but yeah, and
No.
but buried in there was a very good point about like I think about this myself as well that like I feel like my life would probably be worse in a lot of ways if I had been more successful as a youngin. Like, if
Yeah.
like, partly just from people trying to take advantage of you when you're younger, but also partly just from not having enough experience to have like your
No.
bullshit detector very, well calibrated and like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you have to be either surrounded with really, really good people, or you have to have an incredible sense of self. And I think
Mm,
it's really rare. And of course, I've had friends who've had various levels of success, from when they were quite young, into their, like, say, early 30s. And a lot of struggles have gone with it, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of things they weren't prepared for and needed to actively recover from.
right.
And I mean, I knock wood, anything can happen, but I feel, extremely grateful that I was spared a lot of stuff. I
Yeah.
unfortunately was spared money, but I was spared a lot of stuff that traditionally goes with it. So
Spare the ravages of
the
wealth.
ravages of money.
Oh
Yeah, no kidding.
no, stop the ravages. Yeah. Well, David, we're at our time here.
Mhm.
It's been great talking with you. I will have you back. I even queued up some other stuff for us to discuss, but I will just have to have you back on the show.
Oh, that will be so difficult for both of us.
I know, I know. Thanks so much, David, for joining us, folks. When's the new one come out?
The new one comes out May 25th, 2025.
The Butcher's Daughter, May 25th, 2025. Excellent title for a book. I'm sure also soon to be its own acclaimed theatrical production. Because, who's happier than authors?
Well, we're gonna have to start dragging more miserable authors into the mix if it's going to be like that.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay, thanks so much, Dave. We'll talk to you later. I'm going to take a quick break here and hit that middle of the hour ad break, folks. We will see you back momentarily. Thanks, David. Hello there. Welcome back to me because it's Phil's show. I'm Phil. It's my show. That was Canadian Spooky Pants author David Demchuk a moment ago. Coming up here, our next guest tonight, probably our final guest tonight, that isn't playing video games. And it will be Kwabena Agymen. Kwab is the CEO of OpenMV, the Embedded Vision Summit Judges Choice Award winner this year. Winner, I don't know why I said it like that. How much did you all win? Let me go ahead and bring you on. Say hi to the people out there, Kwab.
Hey, how's it going? I won $5,000.
Sweet,
So,
sweet.
yeah,
And all you have to
yeah.
do is sit in that weird little auditorium they have, and uh, what's the stage like? I was there last year, so we were at Embedded Vision Summit here in Santa Clara. I remember last year I went to the voting thing, the Vision Shark Tank, or is that what they call it, or Vision Tank, or some
Yeah,
shit,
yeah, the Vision Tank.
Vision Tank. And it's such a weird little setup, you know. It's like it's clearly set up for more like kind of academic like type of like it's like a lecture hall more than like an auditorium. It's like an, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think it's set up for that, but I mean, like, it works for what they're trying to do.
mm,
It was fun to do that. I hadn't spoke publicly in a while, so I kind of rode the podium and just had some notes and went over it. I mean, I would have been comfortable kind of YOLOing it, on the stage if it just wasn't for the strict time limit of 3 minutes and they had a gong and everything.
mm,
So it's kind of like I really wanted to get everything I wanted to say.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
still
they
was
do,
one
and
sentence too
it is
short.
a literal gong. I recall, like they brought out an actual gong. It's kind of, yeah, pretty funny. So
It,
yeah, I
it
mean,
was, well, I was going to say it
congratulations.
was, yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, no, it was funny though I won because I got gonged at the very end.
Well, hey, that just means you used all of your time effectively and efficiently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So some people watching might not know what OpenMV is. So why don't you tell? I just switched over to screen sharing the OpenMV webpage right now with that sweet video. Why don't you tell people a little bit about OpenMV?
Oh yeah. Well, what we're doing is computer vision on microcontrollers. It's kind of outgrowth of the CMU cam back in the day,
Hmm. Hmm.
and the Pixie that still is sold today. More or less just trying to figure out what these things can do and how far you can push them. Uh, I jumped in and started working on the company full time after being a side hustle for like 7 years last year because there's some really exciting technology that's going to hit the market at the end of the year. And so I'm just kind of preparing for that and trying to get that all working. That's what I was spending my day to day doing is just doing PCB design and such for some next generation hardware that we're going to launch.
That's exciting. Yeah, looking at the web page here, just for folks that are maybe unfamiliar. Um, they're just OpenMV makes these really cool little modular microcontroller video cameras. Some of them you can pair with everything from like an Arduino to other much more complicated machine learning enabled projects. They've got like built-in. Yeah, I mean, you got chips with Python, Circuit Pi and stuff on there. Yeah, super cool shit.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. What I was spending some time today on is we want to try to get the FLIR boson working so you
mm,
can see things like fire, more easily. When I was
yeah,
at the Embedded Vision conference, by the way, fireside chat.
I love it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You nailed it.
Um, yeah, no, there was well, I have a loft in Soma, that's where I live. So this is actually the only way you can heat yourself during the winter. So it sounds cool,
Yeah,
but then when you realize there's no AC and there's no heating, it's
yeah,
just a fireplace.
yep.
Anyway,
That's the San Francisco way.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, what I was gonna mention is trying to get a FLIR boson design done. These are sold by a company called GroupKits and FLIR, Teledyne FLIR. Really
And
cool
so
sensors.
for folks that
They're
don't know, these are temperature cameras, essentially.
Yeah, yeah. You can do the boson's mad expensive, so it's like a couple $1,000s for one sensor. But we also sell the FLIR Lepton, well, adapter to use the FLIR Lepton of our camera, which can do like 160 by 120 thermal. The problem is a lot of our customers have complained like, "Hey, it's limited to 9 FPS. Why can't you go higher than 9 frames a second?" And it's because they don't want you to build like a heat-seeking missile using the
I
technology.
see.
Yeah, so it's like
Amongst the
they
reasons
crippled
that,
it.
yeah, amongst the reasons, that's a relatively good one.
But the FLIR boson, they don't. They let you go to 640 by 480 at 60 frames a second, and it's still viable by people directly without like signing NDAs and all other kinds of crazy stuff. You do have to like though tell them what you're going to do with it. So every single FLIR boson is tracked, but for people who are in U.S. speaking, sorry, English speaking countries, you can probably buy one, which is pretty neat.
Wow. Yeah, that is neat. It has 640 by 480 at 60. I mean, that's pretty serious. You can do some really cool stuff with that.
Yeah,
Like
pretty much.
it enables many interesting, like, all of these things are really about, I mean, they're called sensors for a reason. But like all of these things are really about uh, providing machines with with more data so they can make better decisions, right? Like that's what these things are for. Like making the logic tree logic better, by having
Yeah.
as much information from as many different types of sensors as possible, with all the various filters and whatnot that are required to get usable data out of machines out in the world, because the world is a horrifically messy place.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the cooler applications I saw recently was I was at a Google, I was at a I'm doing the whole startup thing right now, so you
Mm-hmm.
have to go to all
Mm-hmm.
the startup mixers and whatnot.
Yep.
Just meet people and things like that. And I met this company. They're actually building like a helmet for firefighters that has little VR, like it's like imagine like a band that you strap over your helmet for like a firefighter, and then it has two flip down like displays, and those it kind of uses, like, you ever seen a heads up display in a car where it kind of
Yeah.
like has a screen that projects an image
Mm-hmm.
onto a flat piece of plastic. And so
Mm-hmm.
they have that going on, and then the front of the helmet is a FLIR boson, and so they're able to give the firefighter basically a view of how hot things are at 60 FPS. And at that frame rate, you can turn your head and everything, and it doesn't lag. So it doesn't cause any queasiness or anything to
Wow.
have that displayed in front of you. But the idea was, firefighters could go rushing into a burning building, and they may not know, hey, is this door like, at 1,000 degrees or something? And so now they can like see that overlay. I mean, obviously there's some situational awareness there. Like, yeah, of course things are hot, but now having this, you really know that, before you get close to them or touch them.
Hmm. Yeah, that's cool. I'm looking at some. I have the web page up here on the FLIR website for that sensor.
Hmm.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It won't let me play videos because of cookie settings, apparently, which is funny.
Yeah. Ah.
But yeah, interesting device there. About
Oh
the
yeah.
size of
Anyway.
a quarter. I love. I mean, I didn't start it, but this is actually I keep this on my desk. This is the OpenCV AI Kit quarter.
Oh really?
This is the one from the photograph that like was at on the top of the web page and on the Kickstarter and everything. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. So how
This will
do you
be
enjoy the Embedded Vision conference, Phil?
Yeah, Embedded Vision Summit was good. It was about what I expected in terms of turnout. I think, there's probably like there was it was like over 1,000 people there, I would say.
Hmm.
Like I mean, because again, I'm talking about it as like an exhibitor more than like an attendee, but I feel like maybe like half of the people there actually even came into the exhibition hall, like where the booths and
Yeah.
stuff were. Like maybe half is my instinct.
Hmm.
Um, but everybody I talked to was cool and nice and had enthusiasm for what they were doing. I had a really fun experience, which was like I mean there's zero chance this guy's watching, but like but I'll tell the story. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like so there was this guy came up to the booth and he had a very specific technical question, and he was just like he was mad about the way OpenCV handles memory.
Hmm.
It's not the first time I've heard this from somebody, and he had he had totally fine reasons for why it was like annoying to him because of his specific use case, which is just very common. um,
Yeah.
but it just so happened to be that as I'm talking to this guy who should walk up but Gary
That it?
Bradsky
Oh
but Gary
no.
Bradsky, the creator of the library. And so I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? Like I've got just the guy for you to raise your grievances to. And so then so then he and Gary talked for like 25 minutes. So it was pretty good. So it's
Oh, that's
always
awesome.
yeah, it's always fun when you can do that, when you can just be like Speaking of which, the guy is right there. Like the guy that did it is right behind you. Like it's his. This was his choice. 20 years ago or whatever. So that stuff is always pretty funny. We had a couple of people talking about Stanley, like asking about Stanley. They'd seen stuff about the Stanley is the car that won the 2005 DARPA Grand Challenge, the first autonomous vehicle challenge. That was the first car to complete it, and was in the Smithsonian for a while. I don't know if it's still on display or not, but it was it's there somewhere. We had a couple people that were like had seen or heard something about it, and they saw it on our little video, and that was cool. Like that's always especially when they're like these younger, like it seems like most of the people that came up to the booth were either like doctors or like PhD folks or like industry relatively higher ups like directors and VPs and things like this, or they were like 17 years old, or they were just super young.
It's
like
kind of the
first year
mix of that.
Yeah, like first year people, and I love, and it's interesting for me to talk to both of those groups of people and to be able to do it in one place, kind of in rapid fire was just really, it's always really interesting, and I think that's the kind of show that it was.
Yeah, well, I think what's nice is sometimes you get contacts for companies that are looking to use stuff. Like, for me trying to grow my company now, I really need to talk to people who are doing like, enterprise, things basically. Like I want to run into folks who are going to be buying, thousands of camera modules more or less. And so that's my hope is you go to bigger companies and you can kind of see that. Like definitely OpenMV has survived and come out of its hobbyist roots, but honestly, that doesn't really pay my bills. That pays for the company and keeps us alive. But you have to sell a lot more units to start getting to a point where you can live off of it and such.
There's
and I say
there's economies of scale. There's all sorts of things that require that, right? Like it's tough.
Yeah. So it's I mean, I say that after we've sold 100,000 of these units now over the over 8 years, but divide that number by 8 really, and then the margins aren't amazing because it's we're not doing the normal like 3x or 4x or I remember talking to some folks from National Instruments once, and they said they 5x their bill of material, like whatever the bill of material is, the sale price is 5x that. And that's why
it's
NI
unfortunately
equipment is
common.
expensive.
I mean, yeah.
And so for us, we do a lot less. We like do it at 2 to 2.5 if we can get it, but most of the time we're at 2.
Like COGS times 2 or whatever.
Yeah, so that cuts your margin down pretty significantly, but we want to do that to make things affordable for folks. And so anyway, gotta hustle and try to get with those enterprise contracts and see what folks who are going to put the system in volume are doing. But I was actually able to get a bunch of leads. I got 4 meetings already set up, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those things too, is like as much as it's a 2-day event, and as much as it's like it's a lot, it's expensive too. Like these, the booths are, I don't know, like I think they were, I think it was like $8,000 or something for a booth. I don't something like that. It was not a small amount of money, and but in our business, basically, you get one contract, you get like one hit, and it pays for that and then some, so like it's worth it at that point, and could be even much more than that. And so like that's why you do it, but you're still kind of fishing. Like you're casting, that's $8,000 worth of bait, like.
Oh yeah, well I got it free because I was in the Vision tank.
Yeah,
right. And I don't quite know if I'll get it for free again, because after winning the pitch competition, they gave me a year in the Vision Alliance. So that I thought I read that gives you another year free, but I don't see anywhere online that says that. So I'm not 100% sure. It would be smart of them
to do so, but yeah, I don't know.
That'd be awesome though. But no, I mean, here's the bigger thing. This is what I'm realizing. Like, okay, we have a partnership with Arduino, for example, where they sell a board called the Arduino Nicola that runs our software. And we recently had an enterprise customer sign up to use that system. and they're actually very happy with it, and they're buying a whole bunch of these modules. So I'm super happy.
Mhm.
And I actually talked to them and then realized that they found Arduino's version of our OpenMV cam through Arduino's reseller system, and they
Okay.
actually didn't know about our own product, the original OpenMV cam. And I was actually like,
That's funny.
realizing, yeah, no, it's weird that you can distribute and sub-license something, but someone might find that so good they don't even go back to the source really
Yeah.
and check out what we're actually doing. And it was interesting to run into
Hmm.
this because I just realized that like marketing is actually really important. I mean, obviously, you put
Yeah.
some Google ads on and et cetera, but those don't really do that much. You really got to
Mm.
build that word of mouth and go out and talk to people and really get that, mind share to let people know you're doing something.
Yeah, not all marketing is created equal, too, in terms of like the cost benefit, right? Some of these things, like the
Hmm.
like the event, for example, like it's relatively big in terms of cost, whether that's time or just cash or both, but like the payoff is potentially much higher versus like the Google ads are sort of like the slot machine where you're nickel slots, right? You're sitting there with nickel slots, just hoping for some serotonin for 5 cents a pop, right? Like it's not really a way to make money, I feel like, anymore. Not
Not at
these
all.
days. Like,
I
yeah,
mean, Facebook, I guess X or Twitter also. Not sure if
yeah.
anyone's buying those ads yet, but
I mean, yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty grim. It's pretty grim out there. I've seen some sad advertising.
yeah. But it's
Yeah.
well, I mean, the advertisement's not really the thing. Like, for these kind of customers, it's like the brand plus. I mean, OpenMV has a pretty good brand name now, but I think it's you just have to get into people might have heard of us and then associated us with like that's a hobbyist thing. And it's kind of getting out there and upgrading the brand quality, showing that we can do real, serious applications, putting ourselves in the right places for people who are trying to build real equipment. Like, I think next year, what I'm going to try to do is go to Automate in Chicago. Um, I think that'll probably be a really dope conference to attend.
Yeah, I think I feel like Kat Scott went to that one last year maybe and said it was pretty
Hmm.
sweet. I'm trying to remember if it was. I think it was Kat. One of
Yeah.
couple of my industry friends have been to Automate and said it was worth going to. Also, I love Chicago. I'm born and raised Cubs fan.
Hmm.
It's still in my blood. Bleed Cubby blue, as they say.
The
Um,
last time I was there was for a wedding, about a year and a half ago or so. But looking forward to going back as long as it's not during the winter. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, you got to remember, like so I grew up in one of the few places that has like worse winters than Chicago because we get the lake
Oh,
effect. Like we get it like coming off of Lake Michigan from the west to the east, and it is pretty bad. Like I grew up in feet of snow when I was a kid. Like it was, yeah. I mean I miss it. I go back to visit for Christmas time mostly because it's fun to throw snowballs at people.
hmm.
Um, I would rather be too cold than too hot because you can always put more clothes on, but you can only get so naked. Like there's only at a certain point you're as nude as you can get, and the heat is just unescapable at this point.
So I mean, like I grew up in Miami, so I'm 180 from where
Yeah,
you are.
the
Like
opposite.
the best thing about Miami is that if you wear well, sorry, not short shorts, but if you wear shorts and a t-shirt, right? Then you're good to go all day and all night because it literally is the same temperature. It doesn't get cold at night. It does like
I've
when the sun sets, it's still warm.
I've heard.
That's a
Um,
bad thing though, I guess if you need like AC to go to sleep or something, but
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Southern
it's good.
Southern California is a lot like this. It's not quite. I feel like people say it's more like the heat's just a different kind of heat versus like SoCal. But it's kind of similar, like especially like San Diego area where like it's basically. I mean, when the sun goes down, the temperature drops a little bit, but it's still warm enough that you don't need a coat or like a sweater even like most of the
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing with San Francisco. Like I was walking around yesterday and it's like, hey, we had a beautiful like weekend, I think. No, not this weekend, last weekend.
Mm.
One of them, whatever. It was a beautiful day, sun was shining, all of that. Then you wake up the next day and it's like foggy and it's like the wind's blowing super hard. You're just like freezing walking around. And it's like you just can't escape needing a jacket in the city. It's a bad decision to go out at night without a jacket. You just don't do that. After you've frozen to death like a few times, you realize you got to bring a jacket with you everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's a strange, the climates here are weird. We have the microclimates as they call them, and like, yeah, you're gonna need a jacket. Like it'll go from being too warm to I need a jacket, like just on a dime. Like it'll just get you.
Hmm.
And that is definitely a San Francisco type of thing to happen. Quab, we're about at time here.
Okay,
What do you
cool.
have? What do you got coming up? Anything you wanna talk to the people about? Anything you wanna remind people to do or see? Or you got any shows coming up? Anything like that? Any new products aside from the one you mentioned but can't talk about yet?
Just the one I mentioned I can't talk about. Trying to work on though, some
Mm-hmm.
camera adapters. We got some shields for the OpenMV cam coming up. Finally, it's taken a long time. We actually finished them back in like February, but
Cool.
it's just we did a low volume order of them, and so whenever I do that, our CM is like super not motivated to build them quickly.
Mm.
Um, they'll like schedule it. They won't like reserve production line time. They'll just figure out how to do it in between like blank slots. And if a blank
Sure.
slot doesn't exist, they just push it back. So those are finally getting done. So we got about 6 new shields for the OpenMV camera coming out that are going to
Mm.
really enhance its functionality.
Cool.
Otherwise, the big thing we're trying to do this month is uh, a lot of stuff that's like, how do you say, just technical debt cleanup.
Mm.
So firmware fixes, updates. Got to work on the IDE to improve it and add like Python, like really, really good Python syntax highlighting versus we have something that works kind of well based on the Kate syntax highlighting engine, but adding something
Mm.
that's like, equivalent to VS Code. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of like it's actually I was a little bit depressed to be honest. And I'll leave this like after coming back from the conference because it was really cool last week. Like I had all these interactions with people, talking to folks. You're not in the house. You're pitching. It's exciting. And then I came back this weekend and I was like, dang, it's
Yeah.
back to
Back to the
being
grind.
at the house. Yeah,
Yeah.
being alone at the house and just working and doing that whole remote work from thing. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah.
you've got the good news is it seems like you've got a lot to work on, and most of it seems like pretty exciting, potentially good, high payoff type of stuff. Like that's
Hope
really
so.
that's really what the name of the game is at the end of the day. Um, you just keep, it's it's Sisyphusian, but only if you look at it from the macro like level. At the micro level, you're just pushing a rock up a hill, man. It's it's all good. Like this is how I try to get through the weeks at OpenCV sometimes. Just
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you gotta
No,
zoom, like
it's
get closer to it.
I'll say this, ever since the pandemic, just like, the office when I was at my day job before, was exciting every day. There was ping pong in the hallways and that kind of random stuff. And it's like ever since COVID, people are working from home now. So even if you go to the office, there's no one there. So it's just kind of like you spend a
It's,
lot of time at home.
yeah,
But
it's a much different
it's what it
atmosphere for sure.
is.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, cool. Thanks for inviting me, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. Yeah, everybody check out openmv.com. Buy yourself some kick-ass microcontroller cameras, some of which have powerful machine vision capabilities built into the board, and apparently also soon to come a bunch of new shields for the OpenMV cam. So that's exciting.
And
Thanks.
cases.
Yeah, in cases. Thanks, Quab. Maybe we'll talk about those when they drop. Have a good night, man. I will talk to you later, folks. We are going to
All right.
actually take our ad break, top of the hour ad break, a little bit early. I am going to refill my water, and in a little bit we're going to play some Vampire Survivors. So stay tuned. Stay
Okay.
tuned.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Quab. Let's play some friggin' Vampire Survivors, huh? Let me see if my controller's actually working here or not. Okay. Yeah, looks like it is. All right. Sweet. Let's fucking go. I gotta fix the crop on this window here. One moment. It's gonna drive me crazy. There we go. Okay. Screen a little bit bigger here. All right, let's fucking do this. Let's fucking go. So I've pretty much I've unlocked most of the power-ups here that I have unlocked already. Like I paid for them. We got 10% curse here. I feel like we could go higher, but I think I just need a game. Like let's just kind of do an easy one here. Do maybe one of the adventures. Oh wow, like I've done almost none of these adventure gimmicks here, so that's interesting. That could be fun. Let's see. Make my window a little bit bigger for y'all. It's a little bit better, I guess. Yeah, I haven't played this one at all. So we've got a bunch of money here. Let's just go for it. I think definitely get a mount first. This one gives us one extra projectile. Let's see what else. I feel like revival's a scam. I feel like I never actually need a revival. Let's do duration, area, speed, a little bit of recovery. Magnet. All right. I feel like this is pretty good. Let's give it a shot. Stat bonuses every time anyone's weapon is brought to max level. Okay. So I've unlocked some of the cards here. This probably looks totally ridiculous to somebody who hasn't played the game at all, but let's go. Yeah, let's do the healing one to start with. Check 1, check 2. My audio still okay? Maybe not. Let's find out. God damn. Controller freaked out a little bit there. Yeah, I haven't played with any of these weapons yet, so it's taking me a minute to sort of get used to it. These chicken nuggets? I never played this game, so I don't know. I never played, you know. Like, I played, like, a beta version of this game forever ago and then never followed up. And it got super popular. You can buy these little guys at Target now. It's crazy. Sure, these weapons are just hilarious if you played the game. All right. Damn, all right. Nice. Man, they really just went all in with this Among Us tie-in, man. I'm impressed. Good for Among Us, I guess, making sure the other indie devs get to cash in on their success. All right, let's go. Okay. Oh, hell yeah. Look at that 25% area buff. Hank says, Rock and Roll Guy says, I've played Among Us and I don't know what these things are. That's pretty good. Oh, dang, I got two magnets in a row here. Super wasteful. Kill a bunch of guys first. I don't know what any of this means, and I'm scared. This is like the worst angle to play this game. Hang on. I gotta adjust myself here. It's serious business. Prepare. Okay. Man, looks like what's that tentacle monster down there? I have no idea what that is down there. I guess we could go try to find it. Go south. Alright, I'm gonna snag this real quick. This guy's so slow. Like I've barely moved around. I haven't noticed just how slow this character is. Like, holy crap. Oh shit, I gotta go back and get that. Nice, got the triple upgrade. Prepare to die, characters whose names I don't know. It's really generous with the magnet power-ups in this level. Is it because it's in space or something? There's just magnets occur more there? Just as a matter of course? Knife. Why not? The classics never die. Telling you, everything's better with knives. So we gotta get outside somehow, or we gotta get over here. I see. Knife is also my favorite character from Among Us. That classic character from the game Among Us, Knife. This is a Knife Stan account. Hey, tentacle. Sharp tongue strikes enemies in front of you. Damage multiplied by recovery. Interesting. Okay, so it just straight up licks people. Cool, 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 cool. Cool, 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 cool. Don't know what I expected. I do not know what I expected. Knife stands rise up. Get knifed, motherfucker. Yeah, this guy's just HP sponge over here. Look at this guy. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Look at this guy with the little hat coming from the bottom. Who the hell's that? Knife stand account. Fucking extra knife? Yes, please. Don't mind if I do, game. How's this guy still not dead? Like, hey, I knocked him out of the building. I physically knocked him out of the building with my powered knives. my knife powers. Knife! Okay, let's get a mini shapeshifter and see what kind of weird stuff this little guy gets into. I feel weirdly like kind of overpowered right now for some reason, but like still not able to kill this guy. There we go. Ooh, looks like a bunch of little tiny ones popped up at the bottom there. All right, let's freaking go. We got 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes in here. Oh wow, there's the spawn rate just like drastically increased here. I was talking all this shit about feeling overpowered, and the game heard me and is like, "Oh, overpowered, you say? How about I double the spawn rate?" Oh shit! Fuck! My controller got stuck. Mac OS still not great with Bluetooth controllers. I'm using the 8-bit do SN30. It's in a beautiful green color, which you can't see because I'm in black and white here. But sometimes it just likes to get stuck, like on the... It'll just keep holding down a direction on the left D-pad, which is really frustrating because it was not a cheap controller. It's like pretty expensive. Hola to my baby at the airport if you're watching this. I hope the wait is not too bad. I mean, there's a bunch of like I keep killing guys through the wall. I can't get the XPs. I need the XPs. All right, we're gonna get that XP on the other side of the wall or die trying. Oh shit! Hang on. Nice. Is that a guy at 5? Is that 5 or 3? Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! Nice. Damn. Allegedly offers better moral support. Allegedly. They're all allegedly. I think Everett wrote this game dialogue. Allegedly. Okay, so how the hell am I going to get out of here? That weren't so hard. Look at these little turds just waiting for me. Little shit splats. Alright. Obviously, we have to pick Knife. You're my only friend, Knife. When I was at my lowest, when I felt like I couldn't kill any guys, that's when Knife was there for me. When all these chicken nugget monsters were kicking my ass, that's when Knife carried me. Knife, man's best friend. Hello, Soy Punk. Long time no see, my friend. Not played this level yet. I forgot to check what the timer was on it. Does anybody in the chat know? Is it 20 minutes or 30 minutes or longer? Oh yeah. About to level up. I'm just gonna take all the mini guys. I like my toxic trait is that if in a video game you give me the option to choose a little tiny guy to have around with me, I'm gonna pick the tiny guy 100% of the time. 100% of the time. I don't care if it's beneficial to me. I don't care if it makes the game harder or less fun to play. I'm taking the tiny guy, and me, tiny guy, and knife are gonna have a good old time together. Oh, I got another guy here. So when you kill these big guys, you get the treasure chests that pop out, and when you get the treasure chests, if you've got some of your levels up to level 8, which I don't yet, but I will momentarily, it can turn into like a super weapon. And stuff starts flying around the screen all crazy like. Nintendo Ice Hockey has taught me many of life's most important lessons, yes. Also, the Game Boy version is not bad at all. I can do Sharp Tongue, I guess. I mean, it seems like Sharp Tongue is special for this DLC, so like... I think if I make another game soon, one of the weapons or something in it will just be credit card. Like the two weapons in the game will be knife and credit card. or ATM, like, yeah, knife or debit card. It's like Earthbound, like the opposite of Earthbound. Cracked bat and knife and credit card. It's a game about freedom. Yeah, I'm like barely paying attention to what these different weapons do. I've never seen any of these except for my good old friend Knife before. Man, these guys got some HP soaking up powers here. Allegedly. Man, I got 2 treasures. Can hardly measure all the treasure. Treasure beyond measure. Shit. Little guy power up, activate. Think of all the money this game is missing out by not having knife skins. Could not agree more. Knife skins would, I mean, microtransaction. You charge people $1 to make their knife like snake skin, have a cool snake skin handle or something. They'll do it. I would do it. I'm not gonna say I'm above it. I've spent a lot of time playing this game. I play this game so much that it has become a couple's activity with my girlfriend. And she's better at it than I am now. It's like she's unlocked more shit than I have. Expert treasure hunter. Yeah, like the little McNugget guys, like they look deceptively like the floor chickens, which, as we know, are you know, beneficial to most adventurers and when 100% safe. Floor chickens are good for you. Knife. God, look at the size of my knives. Holy crap. Look at them. Look at them go. Knife power. Activate. Knife power. Don't thank me. Thank the knife. Oh shit, look at this guy. Look at this giant top hat feller. How you doing, buddy? Knife. Get knifed. I should just be able to, like, I want a butter knife skin, you know? Like, just crappy kitchen knives. So, evolved report. Occasionally damaged. Alright. So, we evolved one of our weapons here. Magnet powers. Yes, it's just, I feel like the game's just being really generous on this level. Maybe because they thought that a lot of people would buy it having played Among Us, but not really knowing Vampire Survivors because Among Us was so popular. That's my guess. Because this seems really easy. Maybe it's just gonna, maybe it'll start shitting on me in a minute. I don't know. Like, let's see what else there. There's really nothing on the map here, like... Let's do the... Armor is cool because you get the retaliatory damage eventually here. Like, is that a random die roll? Is it going to decide that I'm the imposter? Like, what's going on? What does that have to do with this game? I know what that means in Among Us. Among Us. There's a fungus among us. Right, let's see. Expert treasure hunter. I do prefer that. Clear asteroids, evolve, clear debris. Oh, cool. Let's see what it actually does for us here. Wow. That's pretty great. That there's just full-on asteroids. Usually a really big, you know, increase in weapon power between like the first, like, levels 2 and 3 are kind of like meh, but once you get up to 4, there's a big bump jump. And so it sucks when you're later in the run and you still got stuff at like level 2 or whatever. Just pop the knife up to level 8 there. Is there a treasure chest up there? Right. Might occasionally stab enemies, allegedly. Oh shit, there's the fireball. Awesome. Man, the duration on this fire breath is nuts. Holy crap. It's just, yeah, like imagine just someone just stumbling in here at this moment and they're like, oh, I'll check out what Phil's playing, and it'll be something chill and easy to understand, and it's just insane nightmare madness like this. Sorry, new viewers. This is what it's gonna be like. Oh shit, nice. Unlock another one of those cards. So these do interesting things like make your area of effect shrink and swell on a timer. Pretty cool power, if you ask me. It's like, yeah, I can do. Oh yeah, the Divine Bloodline one is sick. So this basically gives you extra healing every turn, but also retaliatory damage goes up, which means every time somebody hits you, it does damage to them. Nice. Let's try to get vent up to 8. Oh, nice. There's another one of those magnet dudes over here. Sick. One moment here. I'm going to pause and check on OBS. All right, looks good to me. So much XPs. Gearing up for the final boss fight, probably in a few minutes here. Yeah, one thing I've learned about Vampire Survivors is that, like, if you're feeling kind of overpowered, like it's going really well, then that's right about the time when it's going to kick you in the teeth. And so I'm getting pretty nervous at this point. I should hook up one of those heart monitor things to my body and have it show it on screen for you vultures. It's dumb that I can't break the TV. I feel like every time I see a TV in a game, I want to be able to break it. I think the Nintendo 64 like ruined me forever because in that way and many others. Paranormal scan. Random stat boost for the rest of the run. That's pretty sick. I don't know what the timer's like on it, but I'll take it. Try to get Sharp Tongue up to level 8 here before the big bad comes. I think we can do it. Oh shit. That means more knife. Duplicator means knife. Second. Shut the door here. Big shout out to all of the music in Vampire Survivors. I assume this is like a version of the Among Us music. I'm not entirely sure, but all of it is just kick ass. Extremely good score for a game. If Vampire Survivors has Steam Workshop, I'm gonna make a custom knife. There'll be a special extra future knife. So I think there's about 4 minutes left in the run. We got Vent up to level 8 and evolved. Nice. I think so far my best choice was just maxing out the might boost. I think that probably helped us out a lot on this level because it's just sending tons of guys, but they're super low level. And so dispatched pretty easily. Look at the size of the knives I'm throwing at these fools. It's like a knife the size of a car. I mean, really, who can stand up to a car-sized knife? Maybe Arn Anderson, but that's the only person I can think of. Swipe. Wow. So that's like, it sucks people out of the level, I guess. It's the like space hatch thing, like in Alien or Aliens. I guess both. Reporters say the average man thinks he can take on a car-sized knife. Duplicate. Oh my god, look at the size of the ID card. Holy crap, it's like half the freaking screen here. The screen is just going to become all knife in a moment. Knife Simulator 2024. There's got to be a game called Knife Simulator. If there's not, what are we even doing? What are we even doing here? Impostong. High damage, the strongest enemy in anything. Oh, cool. That's pretty neat. Yeah, look at these knives. It's insane, these knives. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Get them monies. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Oh, shit. So you're saying those guys are 3 feet tall. That guy's got like a 6-foot knife right now. Man, I got super lucky on this one. Yeah, the screen just looks like, look at all this. It's just like a nightmare. Oh wow, cool. Come on, we want to get over it. It's, oh wow, nice. 927. Should definitely hit over 1,000 here. Oh, snap. It's a knife mare. It's a knife mare. Taught you well, rock and roll guy. I'm proud of you, boy. Wow. We are just wrecking shit over here. 10 seconds left until death shows up. Floor chicken. Alright, here comes death. Yeah, there he is. Bastard. Alright, I got level 76 there. That wasn't bad for my first try on that level. Wow, the asteroid's 1.7 million damage. 2.7k a sec is meh. That's pretty mid. You're welcome. You're welcome, rock and roll guy. I'm glad that we could be here for each other. I needed your support, and you needed to learn to love knives. They're not at all like swords. Swords are dangerous. They'll cut a baby in half. Wow, 16 unlocks in one run. That's pretty good for me. I feel like we're probably not gonna beat that one. I think let's I'm gonna run an ad break here, and then we'll watch the new Hank Nelson single, and then probably call it a show after a little recap. But for now, let's take a little break, shall we? All right, folks, we are back. Thanks for sticking with us here. It's about 15 to the hour. I think we're going to call it a day for most of Phil's show for the week, but I'm going to leave you with the sweet, soothing tones of our own Hank Nelson, the singing gritter, with his rendition of The G.I. Jive by Johnny Mercer. You can find this on YouTube, on Hank's YouTube channel, at Rock and Roll Guy. That's all one word, at Rock and Roll Guy. Let me just bring it up here. Okay. Make sure the audio is working. Take it away, Hank.
This is the G.I. Jive, man alive. It starts with the bugle blowing reveille over your bed when you arrive. Jack, that's the G.I. Jive. Rootity-toot, jump in your suit, make a salute. Root. After you wash and dress, more or less, dressed in a beautiful little cafe they called a mess. Jack, when you convalesce out of your seat into the street, make with the feet. Reach. If you're a PVT, your duty is to salute to L-I-E-U-T. But if you brush the L-I-E-U-T, the MP makes you keepy on the QT. This is the G.I. Jive Man Alive. They give you a private tank that features a little device called Fluid Drive. Jack, if you still survive, chunk all your junk back in the trunk, fall on your bunk, clunk. This is the G.I. Jive Man Alive. They give you a private tank that features a little device called Fluid Drive. Jack, after you revive, junk all your junk back in the trunk, fall on your bunk, clunk. Soon you're counting Jeeps, but before you count to 5, seems you're right back digging that G.I. Jive.
Golly gee whiz, what a beautiful rendition of that Johnny Mercer classic by the one, the only Hank Nelson. Super well done there, Hank. You'll have to pop it in the chat and tell us which camera you were using for that. It was well done. It gave us this period correct, I feel. All right, folks, that's it for this week's show, this episode of Phil's Show. I'm Phil. This is my show, episode 3 in the can. Take care of yourselves out there. Take care of somebody else if you can, and have a great day, a great evening, wherever you may be.